Boris Johnson calls for a referendum on leaving the European Convention of Human Rights. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson calls for a referendum on leaving the ECHR, that's the European Convention on Human Rights. The move over European Convention on Human Rights is likely to put pressure on the Tory leadership candidates to follow suit. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. Guys, for those who don't know the ECHR and how important it is for your basic human rights, go put a link in the description that takes you directly to the European Convention on Human Rights. And I think what I might do is I may even do a premiere video covering it from top to bottom of the rights that you get for being for the rights that you have for a European citizen, what the article states and the principles of it for you guys. So that's something I might do in the future as well, because I'm getting sick and tired of people hiding behind their keyboard online thinking that the ECHR is the reason why immigration is bad, the reason why things in our country are not going well, which they clearly have never read a shred of evidence on the ECHR in their life, who don't know anything about it, don't understand how important that is. You're talking about your basic human rights that you have being taken away from you by this call because of this fantasy nonsense that you have over your obsession with immigration, that you think all your problems are revolving around immigration, which they're not. The cost of living crisis, the NHS, you think everything that is all your problems are all to do with immigration, and you just won't get out of that box and look outside the spectrum, and you think all your problems revolve around immigration. It's complete folly. It really, really is. And this guy is just as nuts as the rest of them, and he knows how damaging it would be to the UK if we left the European Convention on Human Rights. He knows it. And here's the thing, right? He can say this because he's sitting on the outside as well. He's not even an MP anymore, but he can say it because he can say whatever he wants to a certain extent. And that's what this man is doing. If we had a referendum on the European Convention on Human Rights, do you know what the problem would be? It's because people don't know what it is. Yeah, a lot of people, if you ask the average person on the street, yeah, they won't know what it is. But they will probably tell you, oh, it's holding back immigration or whatnot. Oh, it's stopping us from deporting immigrants to Rwanda or something. That's what they will say, because they will have said, oh, I read it in a newspaper, I read it in my local Facebook group. And then I would ask, have you actually read the European Convention of Human Rights? No. Well, then, how do you know they're telling you the truth? Hence why I put a link here to it directly down in the description for you, so that you aren't misled. As I strongly recommend you actually take a bit of time just to have a read of it. Look, I'll put it here for you. Look, it's not that hard. It's literally 34 pages. There are 34 pages here, and it states here, small. It's not that hard to have a look at. 34 pages here. You can have a look for yourself, take it in. Yeah, because those rights that are in there are going to get taken away from you. Yeah, if they ever get into power again, the Conservatives, and take that away from you. So go out of your way and read it, and then come back to me, yeah? Instead of actually hiding behind a keyboard and assuming that your best friend down the pub, that your mate down the pub actually knows better about human rights than the ECHR, okay? Because, yeah, let's just not go there. Excuse me. So Boris Johnson has called for a referendum on the British membership of the European Convention on Human Rights, a move likely to increase pressure on those vying for the Conservative leadership to follow suit. The former Prime Minister told the Daily Telegraph that there was a strong case for a vote on the ECHR. No, there isn't. To which some Tories blame for hampering their efforts to deport asylum seekers to Rwanda. This gets in the breach of their human rights, that's why. Johnson, who is promoting his memoir, remains popular with many Conservative members who will soon vote for their next party leader. By the time you see this, the decision will have already been made on down to the last two. Robert Jenrick, the frontrunner, is the only candidate to promise to take Britain out of the ECHR. Johnson asked if he would support a referendum on the ECHR. He told the newspaper, I think it has changed. I think a much more legally advantageous. He's trying to second guess what national jurisdiction should do, he said. There's a strong case for a proper referendum, a proper discussion about it, because I'm not certain that it actually provides people with protections that they wouldn't otherwise have. Has he read the ECHR? I'm going to go out on him and say probably not. Britain's membership of the convention has become one of the most hotly contested issues in the Tory leadership battle. Some Conservatives have blamed the court in Strasbourg, which interprets the convention for the previous government's failures to implement the Rwanda deportation scheme, even though it was blocked by the UK Supreme Court. Listen, I'm just going to point this out to you, to those who do not have certain intellect. Even if the Rwanda scheme was up and running, even if it was all put through, even if we started sending people there, it would not change a damn thing about the boats. It would not change anything about stopping the boats. It would not make a single difference. And the government, the Conservative government, wanted to waste billions of pounds of taxpayer money on it. Billions of pounds. Just let that sink in, okay? It was a deterrent. It was supposed to act as a deterrent. It's not going to effectively stop migrants crossing the boats. Just understand that, yeah? Understand that. These people who are trying to cross and come to the UK, yeah? They don't know anything about this Rwanda scheme, or they're not bothered by it because they've already been through, some of them have been through absolute hell. They're going to still come to the UK regardless of whether the Rwanda scheme was going to come ahead or not. It's not going to make a difference. It was never going to make a difference. It was a crap idea from a crap government, and a crap wasted amount of money too. Meanwhile, Jenrick, the former immigration minister, argues the UK cannot have an effective migration policy while a member. His rivals have accused him of offering an over-simplistic solution to a complex problem. Leaving the European Convention on Human Rights will not fix our immigration problems. It will make them worse. Speaking at this week's Conservative Party conference in Birmingham, Tom Tugendhat, one of the other three candidates, argued this is about visas, not about foreign courts. Johnson also told Telegraph that while he was a foreign secretary, a listening device was found in his private bathroom after it had been used by Benjamin Netanyahu. The Israeli Prime Minister, he added, the timing may not be a coincidence. The former Prime Minister is also under pressure to explain his role in the deal, citing control of the Chagos Islands to the Maduros. The agreement was announced on Thursday by the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, but Labour sources have pointed out negotiations began under the previous Conservative government. Yeah, Conservatives have been kicking... So, off topic here, the Conservatives have been kicking off about that deal. I've done it in a short video on this deal. The Conservatives have been kicking off about it, even though they're the ones who negotiated it in the first place, starting the negotiations. Sources close to James Cleverly, the former Foreign Secretary and Tory leadership candidate on Thursday, reportedly blamed the former Prime Minister Liz Truss for starting the talks. But a spokesperson for Truss sought to highlight Johnson's role. It was Boris Johnson who asked Liz to talk to the Rwandan Prime Minister Judith about this at COP26, which she did, the spokesperson said, but she was absolutely clear that we would and should never cease the territory. Johnson will be in the future, and this doesn't matter because it's already happened by the time you guys see this. But don't really want to talk about that, but I want to talk, obviously, the European Convention on Human Rights has enshrined laws that protect us from protect our human rights that we have. And you are putting you're putting the British government, you are expecting the British government to uphold the same principles. You really trust the Conservatives to uphold human rights, and I expect them to keep the same rights that we have now with them? Do you honestly think that they will do that? I don't for 1 second. I'm at the moment, I'm very glad that we are still part of the European Convention on Human Rights, because it enshrines and it protects our way. You know, sick pay, maternity pay, holiday pay. If you don't think they can't be taken away from you after you leave the ECHR, you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong about that. The protections that you will have as workers can be taken away from you if we leave the ECHR, because it will no longer be it will be completely in the hands of a British government, and they don't have to do what you want. Do you think for the last 14 years the Conservatives have been doing what you want? The amount of money and extortion that they've made, do you honestly think the Conservatives are going to be thinking about you when they come back into power? Don't be an idiot. So, what do you guys think about the idea of a referendum on the European Convention on Human Rights, despite the fact that the majority of the British public don't even know what it is, apart from right-wing media and conspiracy theory Facebook groups out there? Do you think it's an idea? Do you think it's crazy, like I think it's crazy? Or maybe everyone should be forced to read the full article before making a decision on it. Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comments section below. Found this video interesting? Please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, finish support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. Or you can join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.